Learning to produce and mix takes years of experience, but I have a cheat code for you: automation. Instead of having to make all your changes by hand, you can tell your computer which effects and volume to control for you. This is limitless, but learning how, and most importantly, when to use automation is the foundation of modern music production. So to help you get started, I'm going to walk you through 5 levels of automation right now. Level 1 is automating with straight lines. When you want your listener to notice a constant change, this is the way to go. Before we automate, I'm going to EQ these chords in Neutron Pro. With this low shelf, I'm removing the lower frequencies so the bass notes will have room to breathe. Then I can use a bell curve to boost the higher frequencies, which will help these chords blend in with the percussion. I want this to feel more ambient, so I'm going to add some Neoverb Pro. But I have a small problem. I like how this sounds at 0%, 50%, and 100% reverb. Fortunately, I can have all of that with automation. It'll let us experience a blend between everything I want to hear. By opening up the plugin parameters in my DAW, I can select the dry wet and create some simple lines. It's easy to do, gives me what I want, and now I have chords that are slowly morphing over time. I'm going to put Neoverb on this melody too and make some pretty similar choices. I'll select Neoverb's dry wet, automate in a straight line, and fade from a dry signal to 100% reverb. Experiencing every moment in between gives us a moving sense of space, which is simultaneously a mixing and production choice. Level 2 is automating with curved lines. This is best for when you want an effect to sneak up on your listener. I'm going to open up Neutron Pro and use the Exciter. This is one of my favorite modules in all of iZotope. The thing I like about the Exciter is there's 4 different modes to choose from. For this sound, I like how the tape profile is making the hits brighter and stick around longer. The snare is very quick, and it'd be nice to have some lead up to the moment. We can do this in Nectar Pro with the delay. To have precise control over the delay, I can turn on this chain link and turn off this music note. So now both the left and right signals will play at the same time, and we can control it as accurately as milliseconds. Decreasing the delay time makes it echo in shorter intervals. Increasing the feedback amount makes the delay ricochet back into itself. You can think of this as the tail getting longer. This obviously sounds quite busy, but I liked moving the mix slider by hand. It sounds like the delay is swelling up into the snare. Of course, I don't have to sit here and do that every time by hand. This is where curved automation is going to help. In Ableton, I do this by drawing a straight line, holding down Option, and bending the line to taste. Now you'll see and hear the delay zip right up to the snare and then disappear. I like this exact automation, and I don't want to have to sit here redrawing these curves. The greatest thing about automation is you can copy and paste, so we can have the identical curve all throughout the song. Whenever you're done with automation, the best thing to do is to listen to the entire song alongside your automation. Some of your choices might have been too extreme or not extreme enough, and it's easiest to tell when everything else is playing. Level 3 is automating dynamically with a combination of lines and curves. This is great for when you don't want your listener to notice any changes. The main goal is to make things sound uniform. Heading back to Neutron Pro, I want my percussion to jump into the foreground, and the exciter will do just that. The first thing I notice about this track is that some of the percussion is dull. But if I boost all the high frequencies, the ones that weren't dull are now way too harsh. To dynamically automate, I'm going to keep this high shelf at an extreme boost. Whenever I hear harshness, I'll automate the shelf to come back down until everything feels the same level of brightness. This process sounds very repetitive, so to help point out what I'm doing, I'll highlight the automation. If you do this right, nothing will be too dull or too harsh. However, if you look at the EQ in Neutron Pro, it is jumping around doing hoops, but it's not audible. For the most part, smart mixing decisions are invisible but present. The same idea applies to these 808s. I found a preset in Trash 2 called Crunchy Grunge that makes them pop. But for the notes that were already popping, it sounds too overwhelming. For a uniform distortion, I like to distort the lower notes more and the higher notes less. The higher notes should almost sound more pure, whereas the deeper ones need more overtones to stand out. Level 4 is automating with macros. With a macro knob, I can control multiple parameters, even multiple plugins at the same exact time. For example, I have Neutron Pro and Neoverb Pro all inside one macro. The cool part is they're moving at different ranges. Neoverb's mix is only going up to 30%, whereas Neutron Pro's mix is going all the way up to 100%. To change these ranges in Ableton, I can select the map button and then move these sliders to determine the range. For Neoverb, I kept the minimum at 0 and I decided to cap the max off at 0.3, but for Neutron Pro, I let it go all the way from 0 to 100. Turning this macro up gives my kick a nice distorted reverb. It sounds like a dramatic stomp. I suggest wearing headphones for this one. This is definitely more of a mixing trick than a production flair. If I made the reverb any louder, it would distract instead of support. Level 5 is automating groups of tracks, even automating the master instead of just one single track. This can lead to both conventional and experimental results. For fun, I've set up a weird effect. It's a combination of delay, reverb, and a bandpass filter. Moving the delay too fast results in a really wild pitch shifting effect. But as I started to play around, I found a nice, calm way to implement this macro and add some new texture to the song. This is what the plugins are doing during these moments. To reiterate the power of automation, I'm going to turn everything off, start at level 1, and move back to level 5. Pay attention to all the differences. The little things are what add up. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you use any of these techniques in a video, feel free to tag me in iZotope and we'll be sure to check it out. Peace.